Good afternoon again, everyone. Welcome back to PBTV. I'm Stu. We are here on YouTube and Facebook. These are landed with us a couple of days ago, and we've just had, I reckon, about 5 or 6 requests to do it. So it is new to us, so I just presume people wanted to know exactly what this thing's capable of, and it is cool. I'm definitely probably going to add one to the armory at some point, but as always, if you've got any questions, drop them into the comments section. We'll flash them up on screen and make sure that we do cover everything that you want to have covered. So what is it? So currently it's a green box, but what we're going to cover today is the brand new Ares GL12. So it does come in this little cool box, has space for extra bits in it, so if you do get a moscat or anything like that, you can have one inside it and one spare in the box. Metal clasps and a handle. Apart from that, it is just a moulded plastic box. And then if I spin it around, here it is. So it is a moulded box, so all the parts in here, sorry, you could actually fit 3 moscats in here. So I forgot that you could obviously fit one inside it, one here and one here. And they are matched by the markings up here to stop them rattling around. So whether or not you keep them loaded or not in here is entirely up to you, but it just gives you space to have this as a standalone platform with the rounds in it. So if we grab this out and slide that away, and this is the standalone unit on its own. Super compact. I think a few people have asked us to get these for a long time, so we've got a few of them in right now. If you are new to the sport and you don't know what a moscat is, it's a shower grenade is the best way to describe it. So you have a shell that you put in here that will have about 100, anywhere from 70, 100, 120, 190 BBs in it, and at a single pull it fires them all at once like a big shower. There are other versions you can put in it. So some moscats have individual barrels that you put 10 in each. Some have just a big opening at the front that you then put a rubber cap over. You then have CO2 versions that are a little bit louder. You can have tag rounds, launchable things like that, all sorts of stuff. But at the end of the day, this is one where the gas is stored in the moscat itself, not inside this. There are other versions. I think the TM has gas stored in the grip, and it has proprietary shells. This will fit any 40mm shell. So if you've got moscats already and you've got a UGL, you've got an underslung already, but you've got other platforms you like to use, but you still want to keep the 40mm on you, this is a great choice because it is a standalone. It's got its own stock, it's got its own sights, and it is very, very cool. You can, aftermarket-wise, get holsters for it and everything like that, but most of the time people just loop it on, have a sling, and they're good to go. So let's cover what it can do. It has the most basic of features, but it does have a few little tricks up its sleeve. So it does have a cap on the end, I think purely for bad weather and things like that. If it's raining, you don't want this thing filling with water, etc., and getting damaged on the inside. It's purely a safety cap, especially as well if in safe zones and stuff you would have this unloaded completely, but it is just a little bit like a barrel sock style thing that you can just have on there as you see fit. Not tried it yet, but I don't know what would happen if you accidentally discharge this with the cap on and a moscat in it, but I can guarantee your BBs aren't going to go very far, and I don't think that wire would survive very long, so make sure you do remove the cap before you let this thing loose. Coming to the top here, so this is your sort of flip up leaf sight. So you have a bit at the front and a bit at the back, and obviously as you're looking through this, you line the range up with the dot at the front, and as you can see it tilt and things line up, that is the angle that its real steel counterpart would be aiming at. Again, with this, moscats range aren't massive. They are designed to be a widespread door space, room clearing style device, so you're not expecting to reach more than 10 meters at best with this thing. Any further than that is a massive bonus. So coming to, we'll keep going along the top. So this bar here is the stock track inside here, and there is a lever at the front that stops it coming off the back, but there is a button on the left hand side here that you press and it slides down. There are about 6 stock positions as this thing comes back into various slotted points, and then when it is at the back and it stops moving, you can press the side again, and this whole thing does come off. If you're just wanting this as a complete standalone and you're not planning on using a stock, you're not planning to shoulder it, this is a chunk of metal, and a big bit of rubber. So if you are planning on shouldering it, this is definitely worth it. Firing tag rounds and anything like that, you do want something to shoulder it. But if you're not wanting it, you can just rock this as a little standalone hand cannon almost. Does simply slide back on, he says. But once I will leave it off for now because it's going to be a pain. But it slides back on, pressing both sides, it slides all the way up and locks onto the front end. Looking inside here and the mouldings and everything, I've not seen it yet, and I don't know if it is available, but the way this is all moulded, I don't know whether or not you would be able to put a clamp on this side and mount this to make it a UGL style system as well. Completely unsure if that is an option. I'd be surprised if it wasn't a thing, because this would be really cool as an underslung. So how do we prep this thing? So you can see the trigger guard here and the trigger. There's a button just there. As I press that, you heard it click out to the side, and that's what it does. It clicks out like that. 40mm goes in the back, and you simply pull the trigger whilst it's on safe. So you pull the trigger, and all that happens then is it's not spring-loaded or anything. You might be able to see just inside here, there's a pin that comes forward, and all that does is it pushes the button on the back of the moscat, triggering it, firing all the BBs, and you are good to go. On this side, you do have the safe fire selector, and it is on both sides. So it is fully ambidextrous in as many ways as it possibly can be. But safe is a trigger lock, so it just locks the trigger out completely. There's no disconnect inside. And there is a grip on the front, so you pull this back, drop it down, and you do have a foregrip. This foregrip is bolted onto 2 holes inside a 20mm RIS rail. So if the grip isn't for you, or you don't want it, and you're wanting to strip this down even more, so you don't want the stock on it and you don't want the grip on it, you can take that off. You could even put a torch or a laser or anything you wanted under there. So it's super compact, super easy to use, and just absolutely straightforward. Extremely well made, I will say, from getting this out. Even the box is really top quality materials. So the optic, the leaf iron sights at the top, all this is plastic. The top rail up here feels like steel because it is a lot denser and stronger than the rest of the materials. The tube itself, I would say, would be aluminium, and the lower receiver and all the parts around here are polymer. So they've saved weight where they can. They've used the correct materials in the right places. The bit where the wear and tear is going to happen up here has been made out of steel and the harder, denser materials. And the tube itself has just been made out of lightweight aluminium because it's not going to take that much of a battering. There are a few other bits on the top. So with the stock, if it is in a position that you prefer and you don't want to accidentally press any levers or anything like that, there is a grub screw on the side here. So once this is in a position you're happy with and you're in a static position, you don't want that stock to move, whether or not it's an accidental press or anything like that, you can tighten that grub screw and it will just lock it in place. Quite a very simple addition, but is really cool. Really cool idea. Very quick overview for guys that are joining us. So this is the Ares M320 standalone platform. With everything on it, it comes in at about 1.5 kilos unloaded, and you have a polymer leaf sight on the top, mainly just for show because moscats aren't really going to be super range. You're not going to be looking at anything over 10 meters really. You do have some sling points on the front here and one on the stock at the back if you keep that on. There is a cap on the front. Mainly, I'd say this is for adverse weather conditions. You're not really wanting rain to pour down or it get wet or anything like that. I guarantee most people are going to take this off to start with because it is more for its real steel counterpart than this. But again, it is one of them things that is a safety thing. If you're in a safe zone, you've got one of these on, marshals going around and see that on it, it is just an added feature that they don't know whether or not you've accidentally left a moscat in there or like that. It's purely a safety thing, which is always good. Coming to the back end, we do have a selector here, so it's on safe and fire, and it is on both sides. Completely steel top end, plastic sights, aluminium tube, polymer lower, and underneath here where you can see the trigger, there is a button there, and that's how it unlocks. Sends the tube out to the left-hand side, drop your 40mm in, close it, loose the round, and then you can press it, drop your round out, throw another one in, and you're good to go. The grip on the front here, simply pull the tab back, drops down and vice versa, locks in place. But there are 2 screws under here if you want to remove that and put a laser or any other preferred grip on there if you want something a little bit more sturdy rather than something that can move. Totally fine to do, but this grip is nice and solid and very, very convenient. And I think if you were to get a holster for this, I think it would use the trigger guard or the grip itself to lock in place. I have seen some people with like Kydex versions or homemade versions. There is nothing commercial that I know is a holster for this, because it is a standalone. Just run around with it like an absolute psycho. Just run this and about 20 shells and you're going to have an absolute ton of fun. So, and for those that join us, it does come with this big case, and there is enough room in there with 1 round in it. There are 2 spare spaces inside the box for moscats. It doesn't come with any, so you will need moscats, but this thing can take the standard shower moscats, it could take tag rounds, it could take the Hellfire CO2 ones, absolutely anything that is 40mm. Anything where the gas is stored inside the moscat, this will function. I know there are other ones out there where, like the tag or the TM variant, the gas is stored inside the grip or the aiming device, and you use proprietary rounds with it. This is just a straight up moscat / 40mm device. But I know it's been short, but a load of people wanted to see this, and it is exceptionally cool, especially in the light. Look at it. I know you all want one. I know I definitely want one. It looks very, very cool, and you can get them now. But if that's everything, if there's any final questions, please throw them up. Apart from that, we will leave you today, and I think tomorrow we are on a brand day, so I think it may be Evolution tomorrow. So if there's anything Evolution that you are aware of. Oh, we've got some final questions coming in. That's going to be okay to use in CQB such as Halo Mill. Yes, 40mm are totally acceptable in our indoor site in Halo Mill, because normally moscat shower grenades are very, very, very low FPS, maybe 250 FPS max. So speak to the staff, speak to your marshals, take it with you, demo it if you have to. But most sites do allow shower grenades in some capacity. This thing will function with 40 mics or master mics, but again, just make sure you're allowed to use them. I know our outdoor site allows them, so tag rounds, moscat rounds, shower grenades, master mics, 40 mics. If you've got one of these and you bring it to proving grounds, it is totally functional. If you've got 70, 100, 120 round shower moscat rounds, I know that they allow them at Halo. I just don't know about the master or 40 mics, because it is CQB, and most sites that don't allow the master and 40 mics are semi-auto sites anyway. So make sure that it's fine to use, but I know at Halo it is. But good question. I can't believe I didn't cover that myself. But if that's everything for today, this has been the Ares M320. We hope that you enjoyed that. It's always good to speak to people. And we're back tomorrow with our brand Evolution brand video. Until then, I'll see you in a bit.